types of bikes. Now, this sounds interesting, but many students thought that as nice as it would have been to ride around campus on a generic bike to get to and from class, a lot of them wanted ways to get around town. Students wanted baskets so they could go grocery shopping or go get food and have a way to carry it home, or go to their fraternity houses or go somewhere around campus to be able to get things done. Safety was also a key issue with the bike being used. Students wanted to make sure, well, if I'm riding at night, what is CMU going to do to make sure that I'm safe? So lights, quick little attachable lights on top of the bikes that students can utilize to ride at night.
Can you think of anything on top of your head that you think they should add to the bike, make it different?
Reflectors, just for safety's sake. Attachable lights, because if you're giving them a 24-hour period, the best thing, reflectors can only do so much, but if you're giving them an actual light that they can turn on, that would actually save a lot of people. Because I remember
You kind of like explain what you mean, like with a rentable light, like how you think that would, like how would you rent lights out to people? Like, what do you think? Same system?
Yeah, same system. It's literally like the attach thing is literally just kind of attached to it clicks to the handlebars, and then you just turn it on, and you have a light.
You know, they have at Oakland University, which really is inefficient because they just literally do what they said not to do and flop bikes all around campus, and then they get broken within like 2 days.
Well, those students had some good ideas, but besides having a light or reflectors or a basket to be able to carry groceries, other students have mentioned the capabilities to have different variations of the bike, such as the picture shows below, a tandem bike for multiple people, such as a couple. A bike meant for going on trails so people could explore Mount Pleasant more and have more fun doing it, or a bike meant for speed, meant for more recreational purposes. These are the types of bikes, along with the additions, that students felt would give them a good feeling when using this idea. Destinations was a key concept that we brought up during this research. Where would students want to take these bikes other than just to and from classes? A lot of students brought up multiple locations that they would be willing and excited to go to around campus other than just to their classes, such as Rick's, their fraternity houses or sorority houses on Main Street, downtown and all it has to offer, or SPX, where a lot of students get their books, t-shirts, and many other related school supplies.
Yeah. Okay. So would you use this, or would you use the bike for anything besides class? Or
yeah, I mean, I would go downtown with it too.
Yeah.
So I would like, because downtown's kind of a far walk in LA. But downtown Mount Pleasant is really beautiful, and it's, you know, maybe midterms, stress reliever, just go down, ride the bike. You know.
Where exactly would you go downtown?
Probably like Broadway and yeah, it's Broadway. It's the main downtown. Like it's and but
anywhere else that you go? Maybe on
like Tall Grass, you know, because sometimes I go there with my friends.
Now, other than going to Tallgrass or downtown, many students said that they would like to go to restaurants or go shopping around town, but they have no access. They have no way to do it. So as previously mentioned, a little basket on the front or the back of the bike would make it so that students would be more acceptable to going to places, knowing that they had an easy and efficient way of carrying their goods home. Now, with any new idea, there's going to be lots of perceived risks to make sure that this idea gets off the ground and gets off the ground a good start. And I think the best way to come up with a few of the perceived risks that were brought out during our discovery were these students.
What do you think about CMU's transportation?
we don't mind it.
Alright, so are there any like immediate aspects that you kind of could see like a flaw with? Or like
Possibly running out. If the majority of people just decide to take it, and then some people just are kind of left without it, but you can't really provide bikes for everybody.
Yeah, but then back to the bike thing, I mean, like, during the winter and when it's raining, you can't ride a bike. I know, like, my roommates have a bike, and they try to do that, but it's just, it's too cold, it gets too cold, and yeah. So you can only really ride bikes in the spring, then the early fall. And, like, when it's that time, I don't really mind walking.
Well, when you said bikes, I was like, oh, now you have to watch out for people who are really annoying. because usually like I had my bike last year and like people would not move. I was like, hello, I'm a bike. I can't really stop. You have 2 feet. That's my reaction. I was like, see, now when you use bikes, there's a lot of problems because literally last year I saw this girl get run over by a bike. I was like, I thought that was not possible.
So, the concerns that the students brought up were we might not even need it. That it could only really be used during certain times of the year, and even then, would you even be willing to use the program? Also, as mentioned by the same student, what if you run out? What if you really need this bike, but you just get there right after the last bike is sold out, and now you're going to be late to class because you assumed that you were going to get a bike? As well as, there are lots of people walking, so what happens if you're riding your bike and you're late to class, and you take off, and you bowl over a bunch of people that are in a large group walking to class? As well as other perceived risks could be what happens if you lose the bike, lose something, or get injured. What's going to happen with your fees, your student account, and what would happen to you? Time duration, 24 hours. That's the concept that was brought up to most students, but let's see what they think about it.
What aspects of it did you find most appealing?
The fact that I don't have to pay anything, I literally just have to swipe it, and then the fact that it's just a key. It's not something you could share really with, and you kind of be held responsible. Convenience would be really nice, and the fact that you can kind of have it for 24 hours is not like it's you only have 1 hour to have this.
Yeah, I think a day is a good time.
Okay.
Because maybe if I want to say, because if you get, for an hour time or 2 hours, 3 hours, and something pops up, then you have to return it back or something. So the day is just, it's flexible to your schedule.
So, what these students brought up were some really good points, that a 24-hour duration would give you time to use the bike and utilize it correctly to get what you needed to get done. In summary, as brought up during our video and for our executive summary, there are many concerns with any startup project such as this, and the students seem to think that this is a well-rounded, very solid idea that just needs a little tweaking, because every concept is related to each other in a very close capacity. If you add on the bikes, it's going to cause a different kind of bike, because some students are not going to want a light and other students are going to want a light. So with everything that will be done for this project, other variations need to be looked at to make sure that everything is utilized correctly to make sure that this project gets off to a great start.